Hello, and welcome to the Bury Me Alive podcast.
I'm your host, Technicality.
And I'm your host, Ghostly.
Today we will be talking about the Lake Worth monster. Have you heard of this monster?
Yes. I have. However, I'm personally more of a fan of the Loch Ness monster. I like Nessie more. Are they friends?
I'm not sure, but they're quite a bit different.
Okay. Well, maybe I don't like this one then. So, we'll see.
So, the Lake Worth monster is a cryptid many people reported sighting in the summer of 1969 at Lake Worth and Greer Island, Fort Worth, Tarrant County, Texas, United States. It's often described as 6'9" to 7 feet, so more specific to highly unspecific numbers. It's said to weigh 250 to 350 pounds.
Where are they getting the weight?
I don't know.
Alright, really quickly, something that we've talked about a lot is if you see a cryptid in the woods, you get a tape measure, you get an autograph. If you know the show, you know the requirements if you see a cryptid. We've never told anyone to take the measurement is in weight. Who measured this lake monster?
I don't know, especially from a range from 250 to 350 pounds.
Like, that's pretty specific.
Yeah, it is. But who knows?
The person who weighed it.
Which, from the sightings, I don't think anyone had time to.
Okay. Elaborate.
The first sighting of the Lake Worth monster was on July 9th, 1969. The group of 3 couples were in a clearing, and at around midnight, our monster came leaping down onto their car from the trees above. It tried to grab one of the women, but the group was able to drive away before it got her. So, first sighting was an attack.
I like this guy. Wait. When you said lake monster, I imagined water. Are they...
Nope.
No?
Our monster is bipedal. It's often described as a goat/fish man hybrid. It's described with having white fur or hair and or scales. It has long fingers with claws at the end. Some people say it has a long neck, floppy ears, sloped shoulders, and has a pot belly-ish. It also has been said that it has a dog head, so even more.
A goat, dog, fish man.
No one really knows.
A goat, dog, fish man. Do these people hear themselves?
Even more so is the fact that it's reported to have horns or a singular horn in the middle of its head, like the friend we talked about a while ago.
That was 2 weeks ago.
A while ago.
2 weeks isn't a while. It was relatively recent. Go check out the episode about the Van Meter visitor. That was a fun episode.
It was.
Wait, does this one have glowing?
Not that it has been reported. But there is so much variation in how it's described. There's actually a few photos that have been taken, but it just looks like a white blob creature. So that's where the white fur or hair comes in.
Okay.
It's described sometimes as Texas's Sasquatch, which not even close, but...
Hey, we've talked about this. Sasquatch is ours. Back off. Be gone.
Mine. It has several supernatural abilities described, such as super strength, it's a strong swimmer, and it's a good climber. So we have another kind of terrifying guy.
And the first sighting was an attack?
Yep.
Is that a common theme?
It's often, in most encounters, described as aggressive. It attacks and mutilates livestock and pets, and has been seen throwing a truck tire 500 feet. It also eats fish and chicken, and...
Wait, isn't it part fish?
Yep.
Oh my god, it's a cannibal. Or a half cannibal. I don't know which is worse.
It's also generally said to give out a mournful sound that echoes through the night. Oh. We have a creepy little cryptid here.
We have a crazy little cryptid here. Oh my god. Okay, most cryptids I would not be scared if I met. I would be like, heck yeah. This one I would be genuinely terrified.
Yeah, it's...
Because if I went in the water, they would just swim after me. If I tried to climb in a tree, they would just climb up after me. They would come down onto me if I was on the ground. And probably eat me. Most cryptids aren't actually like that, so... Oh, God.
You hear that, Lake Worth monster? You're giving cryptids a bad rep.
This is the reason cryptids have bad stereotypes.
Don't add to cryptid stereotyping, please. If you're a cryptid, set a good example.
Thank you.
Also, at least you're a bit safer as it's mostly seen at night. And as far as I could find, hasn't been seen a lot in recent years.
Also, it's on the other side of the country.
Yeah, that actually adds to it a bit. So, the police mostly ignored the sightings as pranks for the first 2 months.
How many sightings were there in the first 2 months?
Not a huge amount, but there was multiple.
Okay.
But they ignored it until a car was brought in with an 18-inch gash. That was created by the monster. So...
I'm surprised they didn't... 18 inches is really impressive. I'm honestly surprised the police didn't just play it off as like a bear or something.
Wait, are there bears in Texas?
Yes! Wait, are there? Hang on. I'm Googling it. The black bear is in Texas.
Okay. So there are bears.
Yeah. So it could have been a black bear that the police could have played it off as.
But what that unfortunately led to was the entire town going monster hunting. There was also a full police investigation, but...
Again, we've talked about this. Don't hunt cryptids. You can go hunting for them, quote unquote, if you want to go like looking at them and meeting them and saying hi, but don't go out with your guns. Come on.
Yeah, you're gonna love this. They went en masse to Greer Island with the guns. All of them.
Texas, get your crap together, man.
And they had giant parties and cookouts searching for it until a few weeks later when they died out.
I mean, like, the parties and cookouts are nice, just not with the guns.
July 10th, so this was before the police investigation, over 20 people were by the lake when they saw the creature. So, lots of reports. It angrily appeared at the edge of a cliff and threw the truck tire across the water. So that's the truck tire that was thrown 500 feet. Everyone ran, but one person managed to get a picture, though he said he thought it might be a prank because it looked like it wanted to be seen. And one of the people said it made a sound like it was being hurt, which adds to the whole general of it giving off a mournful sound. I don't know if it's its natural sound or is it just very sad all the time.
Depressed cryptid takes out its anger on people. It could be a spirit of some sort that's trying to protect the lake. And I'm presuming, is there a forest around the lake?
Yes, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it could be some kind of protective spirit. a creature. And it's upset because humans are not typically the best to lakes and forests.
Not particularly, no.
I'm trying to justify this cryptid. Because I don't think they're a bad guy.
Or they're a really bad guy. That reminds me, we need to start a cryptid therapy group.
We do.
We need to have a meetup of all the cryptids for one giant therapy session.
If you're a cryptid and you want to sign up for group therapy, let us know.
Who would lead the group therapy?
Us? Or Satan?
That is an interesting mental image.
Satan just being like, Sasquatch, we've talked about this. You need to stop trying to forgive your parents. They're not redeemable anymore.
Mothman, terrorism is not the answer to people not believing in you. Please stop.
Please. They're so tired of having to replace their cars after you do those weird floaty things. That's beautiful.
That'd be absolutely wonderful.
Mm.
Though, with this particular cryptid, there are multiple accounts of people admitting to it being a prank, such as in 2005 when a letter was anonymously sent to a reporter saying that they were one of 3 classmates that decided to go out to Lake Worth and use tinfoil masks to scare people. Or, like in 2009, when a person said he helped with a tire throwing incident because he was bored, and so he and his friends dressed up as monsters and threw things at people.
That's not the response to boredom.
Yeah, but also high school, college students.
I don't care. That is not the response to your boredom.
It's not a good response, but it's a common response.
Get an actual hobby.
Get a life.
Start a podcast.
That's the only thing stopping us from committing mass murder.
This podcast is the only thing we have left.
But the whole tire throwing thing, the main problem with that was, as mentioned before, the tire was thrown 500 feet, which is a little much for 3-4 people.
Is one of them like The Rock or John Cena?
One of them's just Superman in disguise.
Oh my god.
It's a Van Meter visitor in a trench coat.
Three Van Meter visitors in a trench coat. I will say, the fact that people were admitting to doing some things as pranks doesn't necessarily dispel everything that happened, like the 18-inch car scratches.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really crappy prank because that takes a lot of money and time to fix. However, if we look back on cryptids like Sasquatch, people confessed to faking things, but there were a lot of other things that were still unexplained and unsolved about the sightings.
Going along with Sasquatch has a lot of roots way farther back than any of the pranks that were admitted to, such as its Native American ties. But with this monster, something interesting is that all of the people admitting to being the ones who did it admitted it around 40-ish years later, which seems a long time to wait because if they were high school students, that would mean they're in their 50s to 60s.
Yeah. That's weird. I can just imagine my grandfather confessing to some of the weird stuff he did in high school now. That doesn't make sense.
It does not. So, I have a feeling they might have done some things, but I don't think they're the root cause of what happened. Especially with so many people looking.
Yeah, it could be something like the creature felt guilty, and so they were like, hey, I'll pay you if you say that you did this. Just coming around knocking on doors.
Imagine this creature just walks up to you and says, hey, I'll give you $20 if you admit to my crimes. Got it?
I'd be scared, so I'd be like, okay, man, give me the $20, I'll go to the police for you.
That would imply...
What?
That'd be like one of our other cryptids trying to disprove themselves would be an interesting...
Like cryptids trying to prove that they're fake when they're not?
Trying to get out of the spotlight?
Oh, that would actually be interesting. Yeah, that would be interesting. Maybe that's what they're doing. That's why they're paying them. Oh my god, we're starting conspiracies.
Now we have a new one. Now we just have the Lake Worth monster paying people off.
Kind of iconic, though.
To be fair, with the amount of rings and jewelry and stuff lost in lakes, it probably has a decent amount of money.
That's true.
Also, starting in 2009, the Fort Worth Nature Center and Refuge has held a Lake Worth Monster Bash every October.
Wait, in October?
Even that's nowhere near when it was found.
I was gonna say, it would make more sense for it to be in July. However, it's also Texas. They probably don't want to take away from the 4th of July.
You also have the fact that it's really, really hot in July.
Whatever. Just do it inside. Get AC.
But then they can't go looking for it.
Oh, that's a good point. However, it's still hot. It's hot basically all year in Texas.
There's also still minor reports of people hearing the wailing at night. So that's been interesting.
It's just a depressed man crying in the woods. Leave him alone.
It's just asking for therapy. Why don't you help?
Yeah. Go check up on it. I feel bad for it. However, I would run from him due to his violent behavior. However, I also feel bad for him.
So if you see him, know how to do martial arts, and then get crushed because he has superhuman strength.
Figure out how to defeat him, and then go and give him a therapy session.
Just kidnap him and force him into therapy.
We don't condone kidnapping, especially of cryptids. But yeah, it does need therapy.
What if you just started running through the woods while trying to give it therapy?
Just open up to me. Just open up to me, please. And then it's like chasing you, like...
Please tell me about your problems. I can help. No, don't grab my arm. Do not rip my arm off, please. I think this is part of a deep-rooted problem.
Yeah, that's something that I would do. That sounds like me.
Just looking into the Lake Worth monster's childhood.
So what caused you to be like this? How did you get here? Do you regret it? Stuff like that.
To be fair, disregarding its first time meeting people, the second time it met people was all of them with guns.
That's true. That was probably very hard for them. However, the first time they met people, they also attacked them, so...
Yeah, it's kind of their fault.
Oh, you said that the first time he was spotted, he attacked a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did the person attacked suffer from any injuries?
Not that I could find, no.
Yeah, because I thought... Didn't you say that they tried to, take her?
Yeah, that's what was reported. It was also reported that it fell onto the truck from the tree line, and then they drove away. So the report was very foggy, though to be fair, again, it was 40 years ago-ish.
Yeah, so in that scenario, presumably they're hanging out in the tree, they jump down onto this truck, and apparently someone weighed them.
I think it's just a rough estimate.
Yeah. So if they're...
Oh, wait, I messed up
Go ahead.
I messed up the times. Okay. It was 40 years-ish since the 2009 report. It's been over 55 years since the first report. But continue what you were saying.
I was thinking, because if they're between 250 and 350 pounds, they probably won't be able to drive that truck if they jumped onto it.
Nope. That actually probably put a dent in the truck bed. Yeah. Not in the truck bed, but the truck front. Though there's no reports of that I could find.
Interesting. So
either it's very, very light on its feet, or they're completely off about the weight.
Maybe it's a little ballet dancer, just very nimble.
That's how it deals with its anger issues.
It does ballet?
Mm-hmm.
That's
just
nice.
Angrily spinning.
Angrily spinning through the woods with a truck tire and then accidentally throwing it across the lake. Nice.
That'd be wonderful.
That would be wonderful. We're talking about how there's a lot of different descriptions of this person or creature. Mm-hmm. I'm giving them a full-on person. I'm just giving them a personality. The most common thing is that they're white. What other descriptors are there? Because you also mentioned there's pictures. Is there anything interesting in the pictures?
Pretty much all of them are blurry, but it's white with black eyes, as far as I can tell.
Oh, black eyes?
Mm-hmm.
That's a new one. I'm used to, like, red eyes or sunglasses.
What if it's just wearing sunglasses and the fur obscures the middle part?
Wait, no. We're trying to separate it from Sasquatch. We can't use the same Sasquatch stereotype again.
No. The very, very extended family.
They're twice removed cousins.
Mm. There's actually a lot of Sasquatch-like monsters that aren't quite Sasquatch.
Those are just hairy monsters, though. They shouldn't be compared to Sasquatch, I think.
But yeah, there's a few pictures of it, and it looks... I can actually send one to you now.
Please do.
There. That was the one taken on July 10th, I believe.
Oh. It looks like a Yeti. Almost. It is very fluffy. I feel like it would give good hugs.
It would if it didn't crush you.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that part.
Here's the common depiction of it. This is just a costume.
Oh, dear Lord, that is a horrifying
Yeah, it's
thing.
like a mascot kind of thing. Texas is cryptid. But to be fair, the second image is the common depiction of it.
Yeah, the first one, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But the second one is disturbing.
To be fair, how do you make a dog-goat-fish hybrid?
Not like that. The image is very disturbing. If you're listening on audio, please look it up.
Just look up Lake Worth Monster. There's also other depictions of it, but it doesn't make sense with how it's commonly described.
Oh, yeah. That's more fishy.
Mm-hmm. With kind of frog.
Don't ruin frogs. Also, it has horns. What's interesting is none of the other depictions have horns, just this one.
That's where all of the differences in descriptors come in.
Yeah. The thing is, the first two look somewhat similar. The last one just...
So that's the common description, and that's my notes. There hasn't been as many recent reports of it that I could find. All of them just say the same reports over and over.
Yeah, the most recent one that I heard was 2009.
This cryptid might be going into hiding.
Working on its anger issues.
Maybe it is getting therapy.
Good for him. Good for him. I don't know. I feel like I should have more comments on this guy, but I really don't. Because I'm genuinely kind of scared by this one. Not like, oh god, he's going to be outside my window tonight, but if this is one of the only cryptids I've ever heard of that if I saw, I would genuinely run.
Yeah.
We do not advise going up and trying to get an autograph from the Lake Worth monster.
Unless you have
Nope.
confidence.
Nope. Just
Remember,
don't.
you can't be hurt if you have confidence. It's an
That's-
impenetrable shield.
That's not true. That is not true.
We do not take any liability for injuries occurred due to finding and getting autographs from said cryptids.
Oh yeah, we need to be making that disclaimer more. This guy's fun. Not fun. Interesting. I'm gonna do some more research on my own time about this guy, because I'm curious. Alright, you ready for closing comment?
If you see a cryptid out in the wild, remember, give it therapy. And then run for your life.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the Bury Me Alive podcast. As a reminder, I'm your host, Ghostly.
And I'm your host, Technicality.
Listening is great support to us, but if you did like this episode, please just drop a like on it, rate us on Spotify, comment, I don't know. All the interactive things. We'll take your opinions no matter what.
Unless they're wrong, then we'll find you.
We've talked about this. We can't vaguely threaten our listeners. We'll see you again soon, or we hope so. Bye, thank you.
Goodbye!